Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss the some basic programs, and we are going to write code for those programs, and it will be based on the conditional statement and the normal for loop. So first we need to understand that whenever we get any problem, we need to understand that how we are going to solve this. What are the different steps that should be involved while solving that particular problem or writing a code for that problem. So I have taken some basic examples to discuss that part. Further, we can use or we can have some more complex problems to solve, but for the from the very basic one you can easily understand that how we are going to apply this. So you see on my screen that this is the first use case, and we are going to solve it. So we'll do it step by step. So here it is, ask user to enter age. So we need this variable. Let me write this. Age variable we needed. You can give any name. I'm using age. And what is next? Gender. So the gender variable also needed as male, female, and the marital status, which is as yes or no. So these three variables are needed. So let me write the name of these three variables. And age we needed from the end user. So it will be an input function, input. And we are going to display a message like enter your age. And age will be a numeric value. So we are going to use int function outside this input function because input generates a string. Here it is. And next is the gender. We have to select from male and female. So we are going to use input function, select male, female, like this. And that's a caps value, but user can still write in lower cases or in lower cases only because that's a single word. So we are going to use upper function so that we can convert the lower cases into upper cases. Third one is the marital status, which is yes or no. So I'm going to write the input function for that as well. Select yes and no. Let me write in caps so that it will look good. And we are going to use upper function here to convert that value. Here it is. Where is that? No. So we are done with this part. We are done with these three inputs that we required here, and we have created the variables for them: age, gender, and marital status. Then what next? Then rules print their places of services. If employee is female, then she will work only in urban areas. So we are going to apply condition on this gender variable. So why we are using if? Because we need to segregate it. We have to segregate the entries of the female because we are getting two entries, male and female. So if it is female, so it will work only in urban areas. So we are going to apply condition on female, and female comes under which variable, which is gender. So if gender equals to, let's say, female. So this is the part of our syntax. If we are going to apply condition on which variable, gender, and that's the assignment operator. We are assigning that value should be similar to F. If it is similar to F, means the female. So what we are going to apply? We are going to print can work only in urban areas, right? So we are done with this first rule. Then come to the next. If employee is a male, so where we are going to apply condition on the gender variable only as a male. So male we are displaying using M, and age in between 20 to 40. So we need two conditions altogether to print he may work in anywhere. So how we are going to merge these two conditions all together? We are going to use AND operator. So we can use AND, and the next variable is age in, and here we need age between 20 to 40. So we can use a range function here. That's a very handy function in Python. So we are going to apply a range here, and the last range is exclusive. So we can add +1 to the last range, something like this. True. So it will take value from 20 to 40. So what we are going to print here? He may walk anywhere. Let me print walk anywhere. Fine. Sorry, it will go to Aleph. I forgot to mention that part. Aleph. Because one condition is in if, the next condition is Aleph. Let's say any other condition we are going to apply. So all will come under Aleph. And once we are done, we will be using the else part. So Aleph, then the next condition is if employee is male and age in between 40 to 60. So let me apply this condition as well. Gender is what? Male, and age between what? 40 to 60. So here also we can use a range function, and the last range will be 61 because that is exclusive. So we need to add 1 to the last range, and we can print he will work in urban areas only. Work in urban areas only. Done. And any other input should print error. So we are done with all the conditions. Whatever we are getting apart from this, it will go to the else condition, and we are going to print that as an error. So let me explain this once again. So user wanted to get 3 entries, one for the age, second for the gender, third for the marital status. So to get that entry and to store those, we need 3 variables. So we have used age, gender, and marital status. We wanted that input from the end user. So we have used the input function, and those option is in upper cases. So if as you know that Python is case sensitive, so in case you are going to apply condition on lower cases, so on upper cases it will not work, and vice versa. So we have changed the input as upper cases because we are going to apply condition on upper cases only. Then based on the conditions, we have used the if elif statements, and then print the required rules which is mentioned here. So let me run this program. First, it will get entry for these three variables: age, gender, and marital status. And then if we'll check if gender is female, then it will print work only in urban areas. If gender is male, apart from this, it will check other condition as well, which is for the variable age, and that age lies between this range 20 to 41. So that will print work anywhere. And the third condition is if the gender is male and age between range 60 to 40 to 61. So it will work only in urban areas. So let me restart. It's a bit slow. Let me restart my kernel and run this program again. Sometime it takes a bit time. So where we made the mistake, we forgot to mention the dot while applying this function. So we are done with this part. Let me enter the age. Let's say the age is 20 and the gender is, let's say, female, and which is marital status is yes. So work only in urban areas, because this condition, why it got printed, because it has already checked that gender is female. If gender is female, so it will get displayed, and here it is. So let me run this program again. If age is 45 and let's say gender is male and this is the marital status, so it work in urban areas only. Why? Because we are getting age is 45, which lies in this condition. So this elif statement get executed. It check that gender is male and age lies between 40 to 61. So this will get printed. Let's say we write something related to the first elif statement. So the age is 23 and let's say gender is male and marital status is yes. So it can work anywhere, which is this one, because gender is male and the age which get entered, it is 23. So it lies between this range 20 to 41. So we'll get this statement printed. So let me execute this error statement as well. For example, we are entering this age and we are, for example, let's say male, and we write yes. So it will display error. Why? Because these we just covered three rules. If gender is female, then we print work only in urban areas. If gender is male and age this, so it can work anywhere. Here the age is 12, which is not in these last two conditions, and then the gender is male, which we haven't covered. So these three we haven't covered, so it will go to the else statement. So else has been executed. So how this if else works? So this is a very basic program. You can apply some more basic if else conditions, so just to move around with this part, and you can get some dummy queries as well, and you can apply how this works. This is not the only way to solve this. We have some other options as well. So you try in a different way and then we can discuss. Then move ahead to the different program. So which is write a Python program to find those numbers which are visible by 7, divisible by 7 and multiple of 5 between 1500 and 27, both included. So, here we need to check the number should be divisible by 7 and it should be the multiple of 5. So we are going to store this number. We are going to extract that number from this range 1500 to 2700, and we are going to store it to a different place. So let me create that different place. Let me mention that as a list. So that number is n, for example. And now we need to iterate this from 1500 to 2700 for this range to check whether each and every number is divisible by 7 or multiple of 5. Then only we are going to extract and print that. So we are going to apply a for loop here. How? So for I in, I is just a temporary variable, and we can use range here as well. And for range, we are going to apply 1500 and 22701, because it already mentioned both included. So we have to use last range plus 1. So then we are going to apply condition on this. So what will be the condition? We can use if statement here. If I, let me use a small parenthesis because I'm going to apply to condition here. If I and modular operator 7 equals to 0, so that is the first condition. The number should be divisible by 7. And the next condition is the number should be a multiple of 5. So I can write it something like this. I, and we can use the divisible this I'm sorry, this percentile symbol here, and 5 equals to 0. So we should have the entire number should be the multiple of 5. No remainder should be there. So it should be 0. So we have applied this condition, and now we have just extracted the value between this range based on this condition. So now that value has been extracted, so we need to append this into the previously defined list, which is n. So how we are going to apply this? N dot, because that's a list, so we can use append function, and then we can apply I, and we are going to use as a string because I'm going to store it as into a single statement. I can use a string function here. If you will just remove str and check how it works. And then, okay. So let me print this. I'm done with this condition. Now I'm going to print this as a, for example, all, and to the entire string, I'm going to separate it from the comma, and I'll use a join function here on this list. So let me run this, and you see, if you're not going to apply this here, if let's say I'm going to run this directly, so what will be the output for n? Let me run the n only. So here it is. So you see it will be a huge list, something like this. So I don't want to display this way just to look good. I want to display it, and I will separate all from the comma and then join all together. So this is how I have stored this. So it's a very simple program. You can apply it on any range, and you can use any number for dividing it, and you can use any number for the multiplication of this part. So we are done with this. I believe you're clear with this. If in case you have any query, we can discuss that part as well.
So let's take another example, which is write a Python program that accepts a word from the user and reverse it. So just to do it, let's say first we define a variable where we can get the entry of a particular word. So let me use the name word as only word, and we are going to get the entry from the end user. So let me use the input function and the display message, enter your word, for example, and here it is. So the next thing what we are going to do is I'm going to apply a for loop, and for example for character, and I'm going to use the range function for this, and range we are going to apply on the length of that word because we need to cover the entire word and just need to reverse it. So I'm going to apply this. You just try to make certain changes, then you would be able to understand the use of these. For example, why I have used -1, why I didn't use the any other thing here only. Okay, so here it is. I don't need this one. Okay. Yes. I don't need this. I need to cover it entirely here only. The word only. Okay. Yes, here it is. And then I need to print it. So how I'll be doing? I just print the word and the care, and I need to end it. Okay. And let me run this. So first take the entry of any particular word. For example, let's say ABC, and then it will give you the output as CBA. You try to make certain changes here. I could explain it in detail, but I want you to check and make certain changes. In case of any question, I'll let you know. And here it is. So let me run it again to give it another word. For example, hello, and then you see that it has been reversed. So this is what we wanted to do from this particular program. So let's move ahead with the another one, which is write a Python program to count the number of even and odd numbers from a series of numbers. So what we need to do, we just need to count the total number of even and the odd which are there in a particular series. So first we need to mention that series, and let me give the number of example numbers only, and let me define that into a tuple. So 3 4 5 6, any sequence, 4 5 and all. Okay, these are just the example. So next is, let me define two variables where I need to add the counter. So for example, count odd, and let me give the value 0 just to initiate with. Count even number, and that is also 0. Then I need to apply for loop for x in numbers because I need to iterate to the entire numbers. And then what I need to do, I need to apply the condition if not x. We can do it in a different manner. I'm just giving you one of the option. We can try another options as well, right? So here we need to add the count for even. Yes, for even. And we just need to increment all the values. Okay. Then what need to do? Rest, if not the x modular operator 2, then we need to increment the count of even numbers. Otherwise, it will go to the odd one. So let me define the odd counter as well. Fine. And then let me print these two. So I'm going to print the count underscore even, and then the odd number as well, count underscore odd. These are the variables which we have defined initially. Fine. So let me run this. Here it is. So the total number of count of even number into this list are 4, and the odds are 5. So you can check it out. In case of any confusion, feel free to write those in a comment. Next move. Now let's move to the another example, which is write a Python program to find numbers between 100 and 4, both included. So we just need 100 as well and 400 as well, where each digit of a number is an even. Okay. The numbers obtained should be printed in a comma separated sequence. Okay. So here, as we need to find out the total even numbers which started from 100 and goes till 400. So what we need to do, this is specifically a range, so we can apply a range until 400 we need to go. So we need to add 1 to the 400. So you can use 401. You can try it from your end. In case you find any difficulty to solve this, I can share the solution as well, but I want you to try it from your end right away. So let me move ahead to the another example, which is a 4-digit number is entered through keyboard. Write a program to print a new number with digit reversed as of original one. So, for example, I mean, the numbers, the combination of number is 1 2 3 4. So it should be 4 3 2 1. Okay. So okay, how you'll be doing this? First, let me get the entry of those numbers. For example, let me give a value which I'm going to take from the user. Enter 4 digits. Okay. And then what we can do, we can apply a for loop for I in range. The same program we did for the words as well. So this is just for the numbers, and it will go to the value, and we reverse it. Okay, it should be here, and then it will be like this. Okay. And then what we are going to do, we are going to print it, print the value and the index parenthesis, and it will go to this I where we are storing each and everything, and then we'll be using the end module, and then we are going to use a curly braces, and then let's print it. So here it is. Let me run this 4 digits, which is 1 2 3 4. So it should be 4 3 2 1. Here it is. Let me run it again, and in case I am giving 5982, it should be 2895. Perfect. So here what we did, we just enter, we have given the input function to get the entry of those 4 digits. Then using a range function and for loop, we have applied and reversed it and decremented, and then print the entire into a, a single, you can say, single value, and reverse it, reverse the entire 4 digits. This is what we did. Now let's move ahead with a different program. Write a Python program to display the first and last color from the list. Here is the list. So it's a very simple, what we can do just to display the first and last. So how we are going to do, you know how to print the first index of a particular list. Indexing start from 0. So we can simply use the first index as 0. So let me use a print function, and then color underscore list is the name of our list, and we want to print the first element which will be at 0 index, and then the last element. This is the simplest way to do this. We can have different options as well. So here it is. So first is the red and the last is the black. That's it. So next is, sometimes we get some these kind of programs as well. Write a Python program to print the calendar of a given month and year. So this is what we need to do here. We have a predefined module in Python. We just need to import those, and we are done with that job. So here is the calendar module available. So first let me import that. Import calendar, or it should be CALENGAR. Okay, here it is. And then what we need to do, we can simply print the calendar of any month for any year. So how we'll be doing, you will be using this module dot, and for the month, which month, this is the syntax. Let's say you want to print for Feb 2020. Let me run this. Here it is. And let's say you want to print for 2021, and for Feb or for any month. Here it is. And let's say for any year, let me put it 1990, Feb 1990. So here it is. That's a very simple one. We just need to import the particular module, and from that module we need a month for a specific year. So we just need to mention that year and the name, the sequence of that particular month. So here it is. Now next is, write a Python program to calculate the sum of three given numbers. If the values are equal, then return 3 times of their sum. Okay, so first we need these three numbers. Okay, so how you want to get those three numbers? You want the entry from the user, or you simply use those numbers? We can basically do it in a different manner. So okay, let me do it. The entry of the first number, here we will take it. So that's a numeric value. That's why we are using int and then input. Then we'll get the entry of second number. The same thing we are going to apply here as well. Okay, and then for the third number, input, and we are done. So here we'll take the entry of these three numbers, and now the condition is this: to calculate the sum of three given numbers. So first we need to calculate the sum, and the condition is this: if the values are equal, then return 3 times of their sum. Okay, if values are equal, so we need to write the condition something like this: if number 1 equals to number 2 equals to number 3. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to revert, we need to return 3 times of their sum. So 3 times of their sum, we can write it like this, and we can simply add these numbers here. That's it. That's a very basic program. And then what we can do, apart from this, we are simply revert the sum of these numbers into the else condition. So here is number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. So first, if these three numbers are equal, then we need a thrice of the sum of these three number. Otherwise, we just need to calculate the sum of these three numbers. So let me run the program. The first number, let's say 2. Second number is 3. And then we are using the sequence. So these three numbers, if they are not equal, so it will be reverting the sum which is there, 4 plus 3 plus 2, which is 9. Now let me run this program again and I'll be giving the same number. So here it is the 18. If the number is equal, so we need to revert the thrice of the sum of these three numbers. So the sum of these three numbers would be 6 and the thrice would be 18. So the perfect program we have written here. That's it. Let's move. We can create a basic function to do this as well. Do you want me to do that as well? Okay, let me do it in another way. So the same program we can do by creating a function using def as well. So the name is, let's say, sum thrice. We can give the name like this. And we are using three variables, which is number 1, number 2, and number 3. That's it. And what we are going to do, we'll be using the sum of these three. So let me write it, number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. So here is the sum, and the condition we are going to apply, if number 1 equals to number 2 equals to number 3, then what we need to do, so it would be sum 3 equals to sum 3 and the thrice of that, right? Oh yes, I did. Perfect. And then we need to return that sum 3. Sum 3, that's it. And let me run this as well. Print it, and the name of the function is sum thrice, and the value I'm giving here manually, which is 1, 2, 3. These are the different values. So here we should have the sum and the thrice of these three values. Only the sum. If the values are equal, then we'll be getting the sum and the thrice of these three values. So here I'm using 3, 3, 3. So let me run this. Here it is. So if you're using these three values, which is different, so that is giving us just the sum of these three values. If they are equal, so the sum and the thrice of those values. Here it is. So we can write it using a user defined function as well. It's up to you how you want to check it out. So now we have different some other options as well. It's up to you how you want to do it. Now, the next basic program is check if the provided character is vowel or not. So you know that the vowels lies into that should be A, E, I, O, U there. If it is a vowel, if it's not, then it will not lie in these A, E, I, O, U characters, right? So let me do it. We can create a function for that as well. So def is vowel. Okay, that's the name of the function. I'm using the char as a variable here, and I'm going to apply a condition if char in. We are using a in keywords, and we will simply define a, e, I, o, u here. Okay, and I'm done with my condition. Then what I want to print, I want to print it's a vowel. Otherwise, into the different scenarios, that will be a not a vowel. That's a very basic program. Not a vowel. That's it. Yes. Now let me run the function. So is vowel is the function name of the function. We need to define the value. So any keyword we can give it. For example, I'm giving b, which is not a vowel. I need to put that into quotes. That's the value. So let me run this, not a vowel. And in case I'm giving a, so it will be a vowel. That's it. Fine. We're done with this. So these are few basic programs. I'll continue with this further as well, and you try it from your end, going through with these scenarios and try to do it, and might be you would be solving those in a different manner. In case of any questions or any doubt, you can let me know. I'll help you out with that part. Take care. Bye bye.